You see. Now going back, that's a major aspect whenever these three major religions is toppled. Now, let's start with the Islamic thing, because there's one aspect. Now, don't get me wrong now. The white boy, or we say the actual governments to be. You understand what I'm saying? Like they say, this oligarchy of 5,000 people, because the average white person, I'm realizing, don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. We saw that when they bought this whole 9/11 shit. Half of them are dumb as hell. You see what I'm saying? So we need to get out of the mythology that 98% of white people know, because they don't. And we see this now when they let this fool be appointed, Bush, a straight up idiot, and they buy this 9/11 bull. I want to go into a science on that. A brother from New York gave me the science on this about 5 or 6 years ago. A brother was entrenched into the whole Air Force. He was into the whole naval aviator thing. And then he saw another side, and they almost killed him for it. But I want to go into, because to talk about an American spirit. There is an American spirit. You can make a spiritual apparatus by using the ancient motifs. You bring energy to it. So there's a legitimate American spirit. How would else this shit would have lasted this long? But I want to deal with that and the renewal of the American spirit, which was this whole campaign with this 9/11 shit was about. You see what I'm saying? So there's a difference now. But one aspect we need to deal with right now is they had to take certain key players off the scene to put this whole thing together. Now we know that Judaism was called out as a racist regime in South Africa. And then America pulls out because Israel is the 51st state of America, the state of Israel. And then in the course of weeks, this thing was turned around to them looking like the doggone oppressors to the Arabs looking like the oppressors when they blew up 9/11. But certain key players they had to stop wouldn't. So they knew in this aspect of Islam that if they stepped to Khalid, he wasn't going to go for the flag-waving Mecca thing. So all of a sudden, they set this thing up, and Khalid mysteriously dies. You see what I'm saying? A couple of months prior. But don't be fooled. All you got to go do is get the movie Hannibal Lecter. Now in that movie came out in January or February, right around the same time that Khalid was poisoned. And we got the scoop on that. Around the same time Khalid was poisoned, they came out with the movie Hannibal Lecter. Now in that movie, they would show Hannibal as the so-called fictitious most dangerous man, public enemy number one. Then they show Bin Laden. And they show Hannibal Lecter. They got his name up under there, and they got Bin Laden's name up under there. And then they show these other 4 or 5 people, and they don't show no names. Now this movie came out in January or February. It was probably made a year prior to that. You see what I'm saying? So they had already started this particular campaign, you see, so Khalid had to go. Then you see how they had to lock down H. Rap Brown in 2000, Jamil Al-Amin. So they was getting rid of the so-called Islamic players that would have an alternative view other than Farrakhan saying this is a great country. You see what I'm saying? And acting like Yankee Doodle Dandy about this whole bullshit that went down. He might throw a few little things up in the mix and say, yeah, that's the way they do. Say something that you already know that the government is doing. That's how you roll it. But on the other hand, this is a great country. He gonna speak out about this cat Pearl. What is this guy named Pearl? The old white man that got killed over there? Oh, these Arabs and all, they got Pearl. Now all of a sudden he's so interested in a white journalist. Same people who castigated his ass for 10, 15 years. So Pearl needed to get his ass killed. He over there in another people's country with a fucking movie camera. You know what I'm saying? So all of a sudden now he's so interested in Pearl. You understand what I'm saying? He's so interested in this type thing. You see, then he goes to the, he goes to the Savior's Day this year and say, I am a Jew. The Jews are my best friend. I am this. whoever it was a bunch of our enemies, he said he sided with.
Yeah. He does that.
You see what I'm saying? So they got him all in the mix, so they had to take out the radical players, start knocking them off one by one. You see what I'm saying? But the protection here is still the radical players that is still caught up into the political bullshit, who do not want to do with anything spiritual. And religion has nothing to do with spirit. You see what I'm saying? So we talking about straight up sorcery. The stuff that you've been trained to be negative about. If you ain't dealing with the sorcery, the white man come after you. Because sorcery is just another ancient word for the word alchemy. Plain and simple. The word alchemy. And if you're not dealing with the scientific element of looking this regime in the face, of this oligarchy, this evilarchy in the face with your own magic, you see what I'm saying? Then therefore they say we don't have no problem coming and seizing this motherfucker right now because he still don't get it. It ain't about no religion. It ain't about no Yahweh. It ain't about no overseer, no absentee landlord that you call God. If you are not the center of the power, then the white boy say you ain't nothing but cattle. Seize that motherfucker, his property, his children, and his life. And that's what this thing is now. This thing is drawn now between the gods, period. Anybody that's dealing with anything outside of your own center of power, your own heart chakra, your own third eye, your own will to move your energy forward on the stage of what it's supposed to be dealing with, then the white boy say you ain't nothing but cattle. And this thing is going down tonight. It ain't even got nothing to do. It's even beyond race now. This thing here now, man, because, you know, I think we wasting a little time up in here and all because the simple fact that we don't understand the difference is